NHADCH 21.1. There are 3 days left until the end of the year. Leon's father, who had gone to the capital for the end-of-year meeting, returned a week ago, along with 2 knights wearing dazzling blue uniforms complete with cloaks. As I sit behind my desk, drafting up a budget plan with a list of necessities and materials, I'm able to see the scene through the window. A huge horse-drawn carriage equipped with 4 horses comes in through the mansion gate, coming to a stop at the porch. The door opens, revealing the sight of 2 knights flanking Leon's father. They drag him, alight from the carriage together. The young knight on the right side of Leon's father has his straight brown hair tied in a low ponytail. He is wearing silver-rimmed glasses, his eyebrows wrinkled in displeasure. The young knight on the left side of Leon's father has mussed-up hair a shade of light brown. He looks exhausted as he sighs time and again. Leon's father, between them, a man who usually looks prim and proper with his mustache trimmed, sports his dark hair, which he is so proud of, in disarray. He looks frail. His head hangs low, his face somber as he staggers forward with his back slumped and shoulders dropped. My first thought when I see him, Leon's father, did you finally do something bad? As it is, Leon's father is a haughty and proud wealthy nobleman, who acts according to his opponent's strength. Weak against those wealthier and higher up the social ladder, and vice versa. A typical simple-minded and rich nobleman. In a nutshell, he's simple, whether for good or bad deeds. I think overly complicated schemes are beyond him. He shouldn't have done something that serious. He's incapable of it, in fact. Which means, he might have seen something that looked profitable and jumped right in, without realizing it was illegal. Or perhaps his business that walked the tightrope between legal and illegal was found out, which led to the police, the night order dragging him out like a suspect. I put my pen back, squinting at those 3 people who are explaining something to Loendl. I cradle my chin in my hand and sigh. As foreseen, Loendl comes in and tells me that I need to go to the reception room. This might be the police interrogation I often saw in crime dramas. Seriously, Leon's father, why are you inviting trouble during this terribly busy New Year's Eve? There's little I can do, though, since they're inside. I wonder what he's done wrong, a headache blooming before having even heard the story. Excuse me, I say as I enter the room. A beat later, Leon's father stands up from the leather sofa. Ah, Leanne. His face is pale. He staggers toward me, stopping right in front of me. As I'm wondering what he is going to say, he prostrates himself against the floor, grabbing my arms in a vice-like grip. He looks up at me, eyes teary, sobs amidst his words. Leanne, I'm sorry, I didn't think that things would turn out this way. Father. Ah, so my guess was right, huh? What have you done, Leon's father? Is it the classic crime, a bribe? Illegal solicitation of contributions? Corruption? Accounting fraud? Or maybe he smuggled something through the black market? I just thought it would be for the best. At that moment, it sounded like a great deal for the Owens, you included. I also told him not to do anything reprehensible, and wanted him to handle everything. That's why I trusted him blindly. I had no idea he would do something like that. Although I don't have the full details yet, it seems he was caught because of his greed. I heave a sigh. First, I have to ask him how he got caught. Depending on the reason, I'll have to devise some plan. I hope it's not something big, but, Father, what did you do? A squeal escapes the mouth of Leon's father. His face is as white as a sheet, and he begins to shake like a leaf. It seems I frightened him with my cold attitude, gaze, or voice. He committed a truly despicable deed. The bespectacled knight sitting on the sofa across from us snorts in displeasure as he pushes his glasses up the bridge of his nose. He narrows his cold eyes, the furrow between his brows deepening. He glares at us, his arms crossed while one of his finger twitches in aggravation. To be more precise, he glares at Leon's father. To sell a child for your own gain, you're trash among trash. No, you're lower than even trash. What the actual heck? Unbelievable, to think he's involved in such a heinous crime. Human trafficking. Selling children. The worst, utterly despicable. How awful. He is honest to God garbage. That's how trash would act. Father, you're the worst. How can you even do this kind of thing? And no, you're wrong, Leanne. I didn't intend for things to end up like that. I didn't know. I beg of you, believe me. What do you mean, didn't intend, or didn't know? Making up excuses right now, how low can you get? At first, I didn't find Leon's father that detestable in the game, a small villain and a little scoundrel's father who only exists to provoke the hero. He certainly loves money, but never had I thought he would stoop so low. Leon's father seems like he grew up as a spoiled young master, one who never had to struggle in his life, and who only feels greed for what most people covet. He would most likely negotiate with politicians at high-end restaurants, while slipping some money beneath the table. He's a coward as well, so he wouldn't have the guts to commit such a crime. At least that's what I thought. I believed that father wouldn't do something like that, yet. Leon. Leon's father trembles in shock, widening his eyes. Why, you're wrong. I merely thought it would benefit you. Benefit me? Yeah. I'm certain you don't want to stay in this kind of backwater countryside, and you'd rather bask in the luxury of the fashionable urban capital, the place where everyone gathers, right? I shake my head. I'm the type that would choose to go to the countryside over the city. Since I prefer staying indoors as well, I would rather read books, watch TV, write a story, and do garden or housework rather than going out to play. I also hate noisy places and crowds. No, I like my current life. Even if I don't live in a big city, I'm satisfied with this village. It's calm, the scenery is beautiful, and the villagers are living leisurely. They are also very gentle, and have been very good to me. I don't wish for anything more than this. Leon. Oh. The bespectacled knight widens his eyes as he looks at me, and then he narrows them again, looking down at Leon's father. How surprising. Unlike you, isn't he a humble, sensible, and respectable son? You on the other hand. Why, you're Runji. It's different, Leon. While it's true I messed up, I was still thinking about you. I really do love you. I admit I have been remiss in my duties, and I apologize for that. But that person promised me a huge sum of money every year for something that will be good for the both of us. And I admit, I was dazzled by it. But the amount is so earth-shatteringly high. There's no way anyone wouldn't tempt it, right? Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. LIAN. NHADCH 21.2. Did he get blinded by this huge sum of money? Both knights glare at Leon's father, cold enough to freeze. Ah, these gazes feel like daggers stabbing me. But please trust me, Leon. You are my beloved son, I love you. Your well-being is of utmost importance to me. I was considering your happiness and future. I will decide my own happiness and future, I say. Don't make plans about him on your own. If Leon's father dictates my every action, setting up Lay's village defense operations would prove to be impossible. I'm already feeling a headache because of that. Leon's father slumps to the floor helplessly. You're right, I'm sorry for bypassing your consent. I really am. Do you understand what you did wrong now? Yes, Leon, I truly do. I'll only make decisions after consulting you from now on, so please don't look at me so coldly, my beloved son. I massage my temple as a headache splits my skull. While it's good you'll consult me before making any big decisions, I also don't want to get involved in your evil deeds. But now that he mentions it, it's for the best that Leon's father informs me of his hatching crimes beforehand. It will allow me to stop him before he does something stupid. I look down at Leon's father just as he looks up at me with a distraught face. A long sigh escapes my lips. That's right. Please do so in the future. For now, though, what's done is done, father. I know, Leon. Even I understand that much. It might be too late, but I'll make up for it, I swear. I'll do anything in my power, so please will you forgive your father? If you're saying you'll atone for what you did, there's not much I can do. It's what you should do anyway. In this reality, although humans might forgive, God won't. In those historical dramas my grandpa watched every week without fault, the main character says this kind of line to the villain when the situation reaches its climax. It doesn't mean it's wrong, though. Father, are you genuinely repenting? I am. My heart feels like it's about to burst. It's so full of regrets. Leon's father starts to cry while clinging to my feet. He's so loud, and his face is so drenched with snot, tears, and sweat that it doesn't look like he's faking it. Leon's father truly looks like he wants to make amends. And he also says this with the utmost sincerity. I shift my gaze to the bespectacled knight. The knight sighs with displeasure and shrugs. He pushes up his silver-rimmed glasses to its rightful position and nods at me, not a word leaving his lips. He seems to have accepted that the criminal feels truly repentful. Way to go, Leon's father. But it doesn't mean you'll escape your due punishment. You're not lying, are you? I ask. Can you promise this is the last stupid thing you'll do? Of course, I swear in the name of the goddess. This is the very last time. Please don't go back on your words, use them as a guideline, and live righteously, Father. Leon's father's eyes widen, his lips quivering as he looks up at me. Do you really forgive me for doing something stupid and as irreparable as that? Whether I forgive you or not, it doesn't change the fact that you need to fix your mess. For the children he's sold as well. It can't be helped. I'm your son after all. I mean, it would be too awkward to pretend we're complete strangers. I should have nipped this crime in the bud. But I haven't suspected a thing, even though we both live in the same mansion. Later, we'll have to apologize for all the trouble this unworthy father has caused, huh? Even though the New Year's holidays should be a time for celebration, the mood has grown grim on this eve. It wouldn't be a lie to say I don't feel depressed. Leon. Leon's father sniffles loudly like a little child, clinging to the knee of his not yet adult son. With bone-deep weariness, I stroke my father's slump back in an attempt to soothe him. What a moving scene. The knight with an exhausted appearance weeps, a handkerchief in his hands. Where did it even come from? I also want to cry. My own father became a criminal. It's heart-wrenching. His son is so kind and caring, I'm so moved my tears won't stop. This, a moving scene. I find this a very embarrassing and miserable scene instead. A father who insists he's innocent even though he's done something horrible, and his son who scolds him, telling him to reflect on it. Lian Sama. The bespectacled knight slowly gets up from the sofa and turns toward me. Is it fine by you? Me. Even without my permission, he'll have to atone for the sins he committed, right? First of all, we have to find the children he sold. And then, we have to save them somehow, apologize, and talk about this matter with the children face to face. It will be a Herculean task, but there's no choice but to do it. With my thoughts and decisions solidified, I nod and say, yes. As I said before, there's no use crying over spilt milk, but he can still rectify his wrongdoings. The bespectacled knight, who looked displeased since the start, flashes a gentlemanly and friendly smile. Marvelous. It's a relief, knowing there are still young men with hearts of gold in this world. Not everyone is trash, huh? I'm truly grateful. I don't think you should be thanking me for that. It's the truth. To sully the honor of someone as bright as you is indeed foolish, an act deserving death. As I thought, being demoted and sent to the TN content equals frontier, read the other footnote below for this. TN is still too light a punishment. Let's just sentence him to death. Senior. Voicing that aloud is dangerous. Please have some restraint. Sentence him to death. After taking in the sobbing figure of Leon's father, I turn my gaze to the bespectacled knight. Please, you don't have to go as far as to kill him. If he's dead, he can't fix anything. You are really too kind. The bespectacled knight smiles in astonishment. He then raises a hand to his chest and bows. You even forgive this kind of human garbage and give him the chance to redeem himself. I'm thoroughly impressed for the first time in a while. You're really such a wonderful person. I'm so tired seeing this kind of trash in this world, but I feel lucky that our paths crossed. I beg of you, anything but capital punishment. All right, we won't do it. What a relief. It seems like Leon's father just escaped the jaws of death. I sigh in relief. Although he's a father who committed a hateful crime, he's still my father. There are no second chances at life. If he dies, it's over, and he can't rectify his wrongdoings. But being demoted and sent to a TN content equals remote area, so in Japanese, remote area and frontier both have the same character with the same way to pronounce it. That's why Leon misunderstands the whole situation, thinking that it's Leon's father that will be punished as the main perpetrator. TN, huh? How long will the sentence be? Well, I think the village and its territories will be fine as long as we have Loendal. Thank you so much. There's nothing to thank me for. This turn of events was so sudden I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Sirius Sagez, the newly appointed captain of the Royal Palace Knights. And this is, I'm Charlu Shurikt, the vice captain. What did he just say? I feel like they said the Royal Palace Knights. Royal Palace Knights. Yes. Charlu and I came to apologize for the insolence of this human rubbish ex-Captain Serpentine, who dared to do unmentionable things to someone as splendid as you. What? Serpentine. Wait a minute. Aren't we talking about Leon's father here? The man who trafficked children and swore to make amends for it, and avoided capital punishment by being relegated to a remote region. NHADCH 21.3. You mean the whole thing is a misunderstanding? Since when? When did I begin to get the story wrong? I shift my eyes to the sobbing Leon's father, the smiling bespectacled knight, and the exhausted-looking knight who's still blowing his nose. My brain stops working. I faintly remember the words of my grandpa from long ago. To avoid jumping to conclusions, I must keep a level head at all times and listen to what others have to say. That way, I won't be thrown into a panic and have things escalate just because of a small misunderstanding. According to the new commander, Sagez, the former sharp-eyed captain and droopy-eyed vice-captain will be punished. They will also be transferred to the Border Knights Squadron, which is responsible for protecting the frontier. Exactly like what Alfred told me before. Surprisingly, that serpentine guy is related to the royal family by blood. It's the lowest rank of noble, but a noble nonetheless. Then realization struck me. So that's why he was so calm in that super luxurious hotel, huh? Since he hails from royalty, he is obviously used to such celebrity treatment. Which makes sense why the vice-captain followed his every order obediently. The bespectacled captain, no, Captain Sagez furrows his brows in nervousness, and heaves a big sigh. This is a very difficult thing to say, and I feel very embarrassed requesting this, but I hope you can keep his matter secret. It's what my superior told me to ask you. There are already some rumors spreading around, but I hope you can comply with our request. A secret? Yes. In exchange, I will try to fulfill your request as long as it's still within legal limits. That's also what my superior ordered me to do. A request? Yes. Please tell me your wish. I will do everything in my power to grant it. That's why, I hope it can calm your anger and heal your heart even if just a little. That's also the reason why we came here in such a hurry, to fulfill your request. Sitting by my side, Leon's father looks up at me. While combing his mustache that is in disarray, he nods with a tired face. Once I had arrived at the capital for the end-of-year greeting and party, I got a call from the Royal Knights headquarters. I went there wondering what occurred, and it turned out to be about this matter. I see, so that's what happened, huh? I asked. Leon's father glances at me, his eyes tearing up again. Oh, Leanne, I'm really sorry, I didn't think that person would be that horrible. They told me he had abnormal fetishes. After using that illegal aphrodisiac, he even ruthlessly raped you, so much so that your body is now akin to a tattered rag. What? What did you just say? That captain is a pervert who likes doing it rough, a guy with sadistic kinks. That droopy-eyed former vice-captain also corroborated this. How awful. They also told me that that outrageous deviant even hurt your body and soul until nothing but tatters remained. And that, your body is not fit for marriage anymore. Wait a minute. What the heck did the story turn into? I just thought that if things turned out alright, it wouldn't be too bad for you to become the favorite of the captain of the Royal Palace Knights, right? The captain has a decent appearance, his lineage is respectable, and he is rich. That's why, I was sure you would also like him, and then, well, after both of you hit it off, we would have a connection with the royal family, a very good opportunity in fact. Hey, you. This bastard, as I thought, you were scheming this behind the scene, huh? Don't joke around. This guy is really trash. The worst. Even the knights are glaring at me with such cold eyes. But, if I knew he was such a deviant, never in my dreams would I have left my precious son in his hands. I don't care about how other people live their lives, but I only love my family. I'm serious, please believe me. Leon's father clings to me and starts bawling again. My head hurts so much I'm beginning to feel dizzy. Somehow, the story of the events at that hotel took a disturbing turn. That guy, huh? It must be that guy, huh? What is that blonde even thinking? There's no doubt that this is that brat's doing. I told him that I was attacked, not raped, didn't I? My body is still pure. Looks like this story, distorted when passed from mouth to mouth, ended up turning into a disgusting case. What do you mean, body akin to a tattered rag? What the heck is a body not fit for marriage, anyway? I'm still a pure virgin, okay. However, it's too embarrassing to correct him, since this is such a delicate topic. Otherwise, they would have me explain what happened thoroughly. Just imagining being questioned in front of a huge audience, about how much he raped me, of whether he inserted it, or what kind of sexual play we partook in, I can't bear that thought. I would probably faint. This is bad. Calm down, Leanne. If I panic here, I'll lose. I'm calm. Don't make any strange assumption again. Let's sort out what I have heard. According to this bespectacled captain, Serpentine is from the royal family, so they don't want to make this scandal public. And the two knights in front of me received orders from the superiors to deal with me secretly, hence their arrival. They will also grant a wish of mine as a kind of hush money. I nod with a sigh. I understand. So it's fine as long as I don't talk to anyone about this case, right? The bespectacled captain smiles and nods. Yes. It would be a great help if you could do that. Personally, I just want to put my shitty superiors on the spot. Senior. But I'm glad that you can understand our circumstances. And you're also quick-witted. A diamond in the rough, Leanne Sama, how about it? Do you want to join us? I'm fed up with this whole night's business, and shake my head. No. I want to stay here and work for this land. I don't plan on going to the capital. I turn to Leon's father since the timing is just right. It's fine, right? Father. He shakes his head several times. If he still has the guts to talk about the myths and wonders of the capital, I'll snap. Oh, of course. You don't have to go to the capital. Just do whatever you want to do. Thanks, father. Yay. Convincing Leon's father to let me stay at the village, not to mention give up on making me work at the capital, was headache-inducing. But I managed to solve this problem. What a relief. I see, what a shame. It's really unfortunate, but that ambition is also wonderful. You will surely become a great lord in the future. No, my brother is the one who will be the lord. I'd rather display my capability behind the scenes. I don't like standing out. The bespectacled captain stares at me, then he shifts his gaze to Leon's father, a smile on his lips. Lord Owen, you have such a good son. Humble, benevolent, aspiring, and smart. If you are not grateful and don't take care of him, the goddess will give you divine punishment, you know. Why, yes, I will keep that in mind. The bespectacled captain nods in satisfaction, and returns his gaze to me. Well then, let's discuss about the hush money immediately. Senior, that's too blunt. Can't you please be a little more discreet? Shouted the exhausted-looking knight as he stands to the point where his voice turns shrill. Whether I cover it up or not, the contents will remain the same. Isn't that right, Leanne Sama? Yes. Even Leanne Sama agrees. A wish, what can I ask even as for anyway? What is it, Leanne Sama? That's right. Something I can ask from the knights. Something that only knights can do. NHADCH 21.4. Then, can I ask you just one thing? Yes, sure. If this wish of mine can be fulfilled, then I would like to ask you to send some knights to patrol Lay's village's borders. In particular, the west border. The eyes of both knights simultaneously widen. Is this too difficult of a request for them? If there are knights patrolling until the day of disaster, I'm sure that more villages can be saved. Patrolling. In this village? Why, yes. Specifically knights who are skilled in combat, I added. On the other side of the western forest lies a large country called Valmcardo, which is currently at war against a large southern country. The war has intensified in the past few years. And I worry that refugees and demons may come to this village after being chased from the western lands. 2 years later, a horde of demons will come to this village. This village has been very peaceful, so we don't have any skilled fighters. You might think that I'm being paranoid, but I have the feeling that something bad will happen. And that worries me. This village is a good place, and the villagers are peaceful and kind. So I want to protect them. Is that impossible to ask for? The two knights exchange glances. Is it a no? After all, it's a tedious and time-consuming job. And costly. He might even have to hire transporters to send him here. The bespectacled knight looks at me, still wide-eyed. Are you okay with that? Yes. Is it too hard? No, it's not something we're unable to do, but. Really? So it's possible. Because their help will definitely be appreciated. Let's see. I can send some knights to this village on monthly shifts. They will patrol the village to increase the security. Is that okay with you? They agreed. Yes. That's enough. Thank you very much. Thank you, bespectacled captain. I understand. If you have other requests, you can tell us so. No, this is enough. Enough. Lian Sama, you're fine with just that. Yes. But please make sure that the knights sent to this village can really fight. It'll be a problem if they bolt at the mere sight of the demon horde. To those people who are only knights in name, I'd have to refuse. The bespectacled captain fell silent, appearing deep in thought. I knew it. Will he say that I'm asking too much? I have a feeling he will. Even I myself think that it's a pretty excessive request. As I prepare myself for their refusal, the captain suddenly bursts into laughter. Why is he laughing? I didn't say anything funny. Wow, it's rare to see senior laugh. How scary. There will definitely be a heavy snowstorm tomorrow. The bespectacled captain slapped the back of the tired-looking vice-captain's head, still busting a gut. Okay. I'll fulfill your wish. Rest assured, Lian Sama. I will select the knights carefully. This is great. I was ready for the bad news, but he didn't give me any. I only asked this since there's nothing to lose. And I'm glad I did. Yes, thank you. It'll be a big help. The captain flashes me a smile, but his narrowed eyes take me aback. What is it? I ask. Nothing. It's just that this situation turned out differently from what I had expected. Quite interesting for you to make such a request. I'm sorry. I made a pretty unreasonable request, but otherwise the villagers and I will die soon. I need to do everything I can to prevent that. No. The dispatch knights will likely be ecstatic. This is like a rewarding business trip to them. Don't worry about it. Rewarding business trip. The vice captain nods. Yeah, a trip to a quiet and refreshing village in the countryside can be considered a vacation. The knights only have to patrol the perimeter and follow orders. After that, they're free to do anything. I wish I can be sent here too every once in a while. No, you don't have that much free time. Your duties are waiting for you. No. Cruel demon boss, this is an abuse of power. The bespectacled captain once again whacks the back of his vice-captain's head, still with a smile on his face. Who are you calling demon boss? Lian's father then starts talking about using one of the Owen's vacant houses as lodgings for the knights during their stay in the village. After giving my thanks once again to the captain, I decide to leave the reception room. Before I left, the bespectacled captain tells me to stop by if I ever visit the capital. All this time, his smile has never left his face. I've heard this phrase from other people countless times, so I just give a standard response, agreeing with him. When I had been summoned to the reception room, I felt anxious about the future. But now it doesn't seem so bad anymore. Every thought of the upcoming disaster has made my heart and stomach hurt. It is certainly approaching, but if I continue to persevere, I will eventually overcome it. The most important thing is to not give up. Find a way to succeed and do my best. In this way, I can change the ending for the better. My grandpa always tells me this whenever I feel dejected. I've always believed in these words. So I'll do my best, Grandpa. I won't ever give up until the end. Looking up at the sky, I nod to myself with a smile, before returning to my room to continue my work.